Welcome back to AspireVue Hot Topics, where in 10 minutes or less, we unpack a leadership thought to equip and serve you on your leadership journey. I'm joined by Dr. Larry Kuhn, founder and creator of AspireVue, and this is part 3 of our session on learning through failure. Today, we are talking about specifically failing forward and learning through criticism. Dr. Larry, great to be with you today. I'm excited to talk about this.
Thanks, Luke. You know, as a leader, you can do something right 100 times and nobody necessarily will notice.
That's true.
However, if you just make one little mistake, others tend to laugh and criticize you. And the question is, why is that? It's more of a rhetorical question. But the reality is here, anytime you try to do something, it seems that you will face criticism. Here we are in the process of really discussing how can we make an impact. I'm suggesting that within the context of this discussion, every time that we really attempt to make an impact, we will discover that the world is quick to criticize and find fault, and also much slower to encourage or find the positive. I like to use an example of a white sheet of paper. Let's say that, I have the white sheet of paper here, and if we have a dot on that white sheet of paper, which you may or may not see. If you see that dot, our eye is drawn to the discrepancy, the thing that is different.
Sure.
Well, whenever you try to make change, one of the hallmarks of change is that you do something different, not the same as what everybody's always expecting. It sometimes doesn't even matter what you do as long as you do something different. Well, as soon as you intend to do something different, that throws a wrench into the system. That is a natural part of the change process. And in fact, when you're working with systems, that's what you want to do. You want to disrupt the pattern. You want to do something. And as a part of that, people will very quickly identify you as the outlier, your effort, your reaction, your statement as something that is outside of the norm, and their attention is drawn to it. And just like a lightning rod, it attracts criticism. As a supervisor, you also are in a position of authority. When you are attempting to help another as a coach or facilitating change, you are immediately standing up, and the one who stands up is likely to get shot at. But that doesn't make you any perfect or smarter than others. It just means even if you're in charge, you're also human and you still make mistakes. So we've all experienced criticism many times in our life, and sometimes it triggers fear and control and not being vulnerable. And so I'm going to protect myself. But the reality is, no matter what you do, if you're going to do something, it is going to be different and it is going to attract criticism.
Right.
Those who are lucky enough to succeed or achieve will likely experience more criticism than the rest, because you find that the one thing that people enjoy more than pointing out another's mistake is when they can do it to someone who has achieved more than they have. The person who criticizes others is really only revealing the deficits within themselves, and they're threatened by someone who has the courage to stand up and do something a little bit different. So several things to remember. Try to notice the good in others. Don't get caught in the blame game. If someone makes a mistake, have the graciousness to let them know in a kind way. Encourage more than blame. Next, not if you are criticized, but when you are criticized. Remember the good that is in you, your own strengths, your capabilities, and your capacities. Your failure need not necessarily define you. Finally, criticism is something that you can avoid very easily by saying nothing, doing nothing, being nothing, and having no impact. With AspireVue, we're encouraging people to aspire, to put yourself out there, to stand up, to ask yourself that question, what am I capable of? Make an impact and don't fear criticism. Know that it's going to come. And it is most likely going to come as a result of your success, not your failures.
You heard it here. If you don't want to be criticized, say nothing, do nothing, be nothing, and have no impact.
That's kind of the alternative.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
This whole series is called The Psychology of Impact. And, we're unpacking what it looks like to be a person of impact. And Dr. Larry, as I reflect on my life and the leaders who left an impression on me, who developed me, who helped me grow, who maybe even didn't know it, but really challenged or encouraged me to change, they were the ones that were the least critical, even though they were likely right about something. And they were the ones that had the most encouragement coming from their mouth. And that
It's
really
huge.
has marked me.
Yeah. I mean, we can leave an impact on people, but sometimes it's a negative impact. A lot of times I'll hear leaders talk about the one who impacted them was not the one who encouraged them, but the one who they said, I am never going to be like that person.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
they made a vow because that person just had such a negative impact. We want to have an impact. And I'm excited, Luke, because our next topic that we're going to talk about is resilience. And I'd like, really looking forward to your presentation on resilience. So stay tuned. Tune back in here. We'll talk again. Thanks, Luke, for your time, and looking forward to what you've got to say on the topic of resilience.
Sounds good. We'll see you soon.
To hear more conversations like this in the Psychology of Impact series, be sure to subscribe to this channel. To learn more about AspireVue, you can visit us online at AspireVue.com.